Australia's leading retail property owners. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Good to see you.
Jerry, Nick.
Good to see you. Come on over and slide on in. So, well, Australia is one of these places that everyone talks about when they say, wow, these guys are adopting at a really, really rapid rate. First of all, why? What is it about Aussies? What is it about you guys that makes you so aggressive and assertive when it comes to really, gobbling up this stuff?
Well, I'm not sure, Jerry. I mean, we like our sport. We're very competitive. But look, I think for us, I mean, we manage 83 shopping centres and spend about $500 million in costs. So we've got to be competitive and drive those costs down and look for new income streams. So if I think of income streams, we've rolled out about 100 digital media screens over the last 2 years. And that's really given us some good growth. And on the cost side, we've adopted automation and robotics. So we've rolled out about 80 robots, actually have done it. And that's driving good savings. And we're redeploying some of those savings back into better customer experiences.
Speaking of customer experiences, you guys have one of the top-rated malls in the world, and all of your properties get high marks for user experiences. Above and beyond what we're hearing at the show, what are some of your tactics for generating that kind of customer loyalty and customer enthusiasm?
Well, I guess from our portfolio is very different. So we've got a property we co-own with the Gandel Group, who's a visionary in building that centre over the last 50 years. That's valued at $6 billion, and that's a big asset, right down to some small convenience centres. We've also got some premium assets in the capital cities, as well as I said, those convenience outlet malls. So it's really horses for courses. We're really building customer experiences. We're really looking for ways to engage with our retailers to make it a better proposition so people want to come out more often.
And for you, Nick, what as an operations person,
yes,
what part do you play in all of this?
Well, for us, it's an extremely important part, from my perspective anyway.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring sexy back into operations. At the moment, we have circa about 130 technology innovations that we've put in across the 80 shopping centres. So we've been trying to achieve an outcome that creates us for the future. And some of that has kind of come about by looking at individual problems within our categories, whether it be cleaning and introducing floor robotics to try and improve presentation, but also move labour across to do more fine presentation outcomes, into waste bins, into certain specific problems that we've got to look at. Then we've tried to morph into how do we integrate all this. So our energy integration strategy that we've put together has really tried to look at not only the cost side, but the demand side, and how do we manage that across the board, and how do we introduce things like solar and batteries and microgrids into the activities that we do. So that's been really exciting for us, which has then morphed into our labour cost to nearly 100 million plus. So when you look at cleaning, security and labour, how do we do that differently? How can we introduce these robotics to help support our labour outcomes? So for us, it's been on the backbone though of a good data network that's been put across all 80 shopping centres, as well as a data lake. So all this information now is feeding in, so we can now manage our operations, so making my life easier, so which is exciting.
What do you think what are some of the lessons that you two have learned in the last year or two that you can bring over to us and share with us? I mean, obviously, we're all out here experimenting, trying, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. What's a piece of information that the people of this show and the people watching this could really learn from Vicinity Centres, your experience in the last year?
Well, I think from any business, their problems or opportunities are going to be different.
Sure.
So for us, we've had extremely high increase in electricity costs, and labour has always been expensive. So labour's probably twice as expensive as it is in Aussie to the US. So that's where we're focused. So I'd say, first of all, really work out what you want to focus on, what the problem is or what the opportunity is, and then try it, actually do something. So, and you'll be surprised about how many other opportunities it'll bring up. So we had a hypothesis around robotics and what that could do to eliminating some of our night cleans, but it led to so many other things about, do we actually need to clean it every night? And then other innovations that we're tapping into. So with the robotics, we've then put the robotic bins in. So when you combine those two together, as Nick was saying, that integration, you get the benefits. We didn't really expect that, but it was an outcome of actually just going and doing it. Give it a crack.
Let's talk about this for a second, because we don't know about this. So tell us about this robotics story. So you've said, okay, our labor costs are very high. Could we put out floor robots to do some floor cleaning? Is that basically what we're talking about?
Yeah.
And And so you implemented these robots. Did it work straight away? Did you go, wow, those floors are sparkling?
It's a really good question. The analogy that I use in the business is it's like probably 2 or 3 years ago we had a version of a robot, and it was probably like the iPhone 1.
Yeah.
We're probably looking, and not being disrespectful for any of the robotic companies we're using, we're probably at an iPhone 3 or 4, does the job, makes the call, does all what you want to do. But we're just on that cusp now of going to the iPhone 10 where battery life on these robotics will really improve and give us longer runtime on the floor. The self-mapping capabilities, they'll be able to move around obstacles in the mall. So one of the learnings was the mall changes every night, whether it's pop-ups or whether it's a display or a sign or whatever. So that slows the robots down. So in Nick and his team have actually worked at ways to optimize that. So the more we get into it, the more we learn and the more we want to do.
And just on that too, for Justin, I think part of the extension of that is working with our service partners because they have to come on the journey too. It's not about creating change to disrupt them. It's about making sure that they come on the journey, they see what it's like to change and adapt to what we need to do as well. So we really need our service partners to play an important role. And for that, it's been a great story because at the start it was seen in a different light. And now I think, you know, our partners are seeing that it's not about us, it's about all of us together to make it greater.
Interesting. So what might have first been perceived as challenges to their authority or to their process are now seen as opportunities for them to optimize their own business.
Absolutely.
Any other? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Jerry, I was just going to say, I'd add on to Nick, working with our suppliers, but also if you're a landlord or you own office buildings, don't leave it solely to the other person, work in partnership. So Nick and one of our other colleagues went over to Amsterdam 2 weeks ago to one of the world's biggest cleaning conventions. Interclean. And I think we were about the only landlord that was actually there. So there's all the service providers that are supplying services to landlords. But no, apart from little Aussie couple of guys that were over there, we're the only ones. So going back to your other question, get out there, find more about it, and be the masters of your own destiny.
Right, and really be curious.
Absolutely.
Any other themes that you're seeing here at this year's show where you're saying, you know what, we have a slightly different take on this, or we have the exact same take on this, and it's so important? Any other things that you want to?
I think for me, the challenge for us is there's all of the exhibitors here in particular are good in their domain, their space, and as an operator across multiple categories, whether you call about security, cleaning, energy, waste, fire, we have to view it as an integrated approach. We can't necessarily look at it. So part of our challenge is trying to see who's got that vision to help us work across the portfolio. We've started that journey with our data team, which has been fantastic, but it's trying to see which partner out there is thinking like us as an owner and operator of shopping centres, covering all of that.
Right.
We can't have 16 different versions to try and manage a BMS or managing solar or managing whatever. We need to see everything, and then we need to be smart enough to horizontally look across to say, well, if I turn something here, what happens way over here?
Right.
And that's the secret that I'm hoping that I'll get out of this. And maybe people can come and have a chat to us and we can work together on it, because that's the journey we think we want to get to.
Right.
And for mine, I think a lot of the different people that we've heard speak and other people here at the conference, we've all got very similar issues. And I think from a global network, I mean, this conference is fantastic. We should be doing more cross-country communication and collaboration, because there's new ideas that we pick up here, and hopefully we could share some of our stories as well. But I think between the whole of us in the real estate community, we can get a much better outcome by working together.
I hope that starts here at RealCom 2018 and continues into it, because it's very clear that we have a lot to learn from the spirit of innovation and fun that you guys bring. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Jerry. Appreciate it.
See you in Melbourne next year for the conference.
All right, we'll see you next year. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Justin and Nick from Vicinity.